Hey, what's happening, everybody? My name is Scott Anderson, and welcome back to Stronger Yoga Academy. A quick word before we begin this yoga session. I filmed the entire thing wearing a mask, and I did it for two reasons. One, just as a show of love and support and solidarity with the medical community, all the doctors, all the nurses, orderlies, even the janitors, everyone who is putting themselves in harm's way on the front lines of the COVID pandemic. We love you. We appreciate you so much. And we hope you get more rest and sleep that you deserve. I also wore a mask today just to shame all of the people who are bitching about the fact that they have to wear a mask. There's no reason to do that. It's harder to put on a pair of pants. And if a doctor can wear a mask, if a nurse can wear a mask for 24 hours, you can wear it when you go into the grocery store. I hope you guys are all well. Let's have some fun today. And boom, here we go. What's happening, guys? Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. That handsome young man on that mat. Look at that guy. He looks like he's ready for action. So am I. What's up, baby? All right, let's do this. We get a big thumbs up. Reach up, connect your palms, and let's just take it side to side a few times. You can't do this wrong, guys. Just put pressure in your hands as you lean right and left. Think of your arms as the hands of a clock, just moving forward and back through the upper part of the clock. Come back up to center and bind your hands behind your butt. Squeeze those palms really well. Keep your elbows unlocked and bow forward. And then from here, we're going to just simply pull the knuckles to the left and bend the left knee. And with the right leg straight, we can get a good look to the right. And then we're going to come back to center and go the other way. Bend your right knee and pull your knuckles to the right and look to your left. Come back to center. Unbind your hands from behind you. Place your fingertips on the floor. Take your feet wider, and now we're going to polish the park bench. That's when you bend your knees, and it feels like your butt's on a park bench that you're literally polishing by moving from one side to the other. Coming back to center. Now we're going to really try to pull our hips back. So what I'm probably going to do, if I remember correctly, yes, I did, switch cameras so you can see I've got my heels on the edge of my mat, the long edge. I'm trying to push my butt far as I can over it, almost to the point where I fall off the heels onto my ass. Rise up. Now we're going to turn the right foot out, bend the right knee, elbow to knee, reach the left hand over. This is extended side angle. And we're just creating that movement, creating a little bit of fluid mobility. We're going to switch sides. Place your left elbow on your bent left knee. Reach your right hand up and over. We're going to do it one more time. I'm going to go to the side camera so you can see the form there. And what I'm really focusing on here is trying to create one straight line from hand to heel with my left hip right between hand and heel. Then left hand goes to the top of the head. I'm going to straighten my right leg and bend the left knee just to deepen that stretch into the side body. Turn your right foot in. Let's do the other side. Turn the left foot out. Bend the left knee. Elbow to the knee. Right hand reaches up and over. And again, you can see me just sort of undulating, trying to find that spot where my hips are between my hand and my heel. Right hand goes to the top of the head. Hold your head while you straighten your left leg and bend your right knee, just to pull more length into that side body. Oh, feels good. I love that one. Now come back up to center. We're going to bow forward again. And this time we're going to sit low to the right heel. Left leg is straight. Point your left toes up. And most importantly, pull your left toes back towards your left hip. Switching sides. Sit to your left heel. Right leg is straight. Point your right toes up and then draw your toes back to your hip to really activate the front of your leg to lengthen the back of it. Switching cameras again, I'm going to turn to the front so I can step back into a down dog. Coming forward into a plank, touch your chest to the floor. You just did a push-up. Now, bear in mind, don't ever forget, guys, this is important. If you're working to develop upper body strength, you can lower your knees down first and then touch your chest. But it's really important that your chest goes all the way to the floor. Press back into down dog or crouching cat. Crouching cat is just down dog with your knees bent. Now we're going to do just a couple more push-ups to warm up those pushing muscles, warm up the shoulders. And remember, you can do these with your knees down or up. From here, we're going to place the hands behind us, lift your butt off your heels, your chin off your chest so you can see the wall behind you upside down. Slide your hands forward, place your elbows down on your mat. And now I'm just trying to do an abdominal crunch. I'm just trying to lift the knees an inch and drag hands to feet and feet to hands. Step the right foot forward. And when you're ready, after you've done whatever that was, just trying to get my shirt to fit me right, whatever. Standing, reach down, and you can place your fingertips on the floor, you can place your hands stacked on your shin, or you can touch your inner and outer ankle. Remember, you can leave your hands on the floor if you need that help for balance. We're going to lift the left leg up, left leg is straight, left leg is strong. So I'm driving through the left heel even though I'm pointing the toes. Rise up. Ankle to thigh. And as we squat down into the right knee, I'm going to place my left hand on my left knee and push the left knee down. I'm switching cameras there so you can see that what I'm trying to do is create a lateral rotation of the thigh bone. That's pushing your knee to the floor with your ankle on your thigh. Now we're doing the opposite, lifting the knee towards the chest. Bind your hands behind you. And just what we did earlier with our hands bound, from this stability position, we're going to lift the fists off the butt. If you fall out of this position, that would be pretty normal here because it's tremendous challenge to the balance. And if you're having trouble balancing, don't try to balance. Try to breathe better. See if that helps you out. Step the left foot back. As you reach up, kneel down. That knee is going to land hopefully softly near your right foot. And we're going to step the right foot back. Going back to the side angle, we can see I'm planting my hands flat to lift my butt off my heels and just getting that stretch that we would normally find from like an upward facing dog. And again, plank. Touch your chest all the way to the floor. Press back into down dog or crouching cat. Now, knees go back down to the floor. And we're going to start the other side. Step your left foot forward. When you're ready, press down firmly into the ball of your right foot slowly to lift the right knee. Now we're standing, left leg is straight. We're going to bow forward. Place your fingertips on the floor on either side of your left foot. You can stack your hands on your shin. If your balance is feeling strong, then touch your inner and outer ankle and lift your right leg up. And again, we're trying to lift the right leg without elevating the right hip so that the pelvis doesn't turn to the right. Rise up and place your ankle on your thigh. And you can see again here, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to push my right knee down as I squat into the left knee. So we're using a little bit of manual manipulation there to try to help create more range of motion through the hip that we're going to ask to use later on in our flow. Bind your hands behind you. The ankle is still stacked on the thigh. Bow to your right calf. Lift your fist. Squeeze the palms. Make sure your elbows don't lock out and hyperextend, okay? So try to ignite those biceps a little bit. Those are pulling muscles. That'll help keep your elbows unlocked with your fists lifting. Slowly lower your fists, rise up, step your right foot back, and remember, we're going to kneel down as we reach up. Go really slow. Imagine trying to slide your back down a wall. When that right knee comes to rest gently on your mat, we're going to step the left foot back. And sitting to the heels, plant the hands, lift your butt off your feet, your chin off your chest. Again, this is our upward facing dog option. Or variation would be a better way to say that. Plant your hands in front of you. Do one push-up, unless you're feeling frisky and you want to do two. And don't forget, you can lower your knees down to do those. And you can leave your knees lifted, but make sure when you're lowering your chest to the floor, your chest touches the floor. We got to get full range of motion, full use out of those pushing muscles. Press back into downward facing dog or crouching cat. The knees come back down again. Now we're going to take another quick, short sequence, stepping forward, a small step forward, and rising up. From here, we're going to work a little bit on balance and rotation. So I'm leaning forward, heart over the knee. First thing we're going to do is a warrior three. Reaching forward, extend your left leg back. It's also called balancing stick. Maybe you're an old Bikram practitioner. Bend the elbows, start to draw your arms back. Reach pinkies to hips, and then bind your hands behind you. As you lift your fists and bow to your right thigh, bend your left knee like you're trying to squeeze a tennis ball until it bursts at the back of your left knee. Make sure you're hugging your left knee to the midline and pointing your toes up. Then step back soft. Everything is about slow and awareness and breath. Bring your hands to your chest. Notice my thumbs did not slide to the right of my chest. My thumbs feel as though they're literally glued to the sternum as I lean to the right knee and twist to the right. We're practicing that movement 3 times on each side. Lean forward one more time. Twist. But this time we add that element of strength. You're going to slowly start to straighten your right leg and bend your left knee. Lift the left heel high so you're driving your left knee to sort of be flush next to your right knee. And you're straightening your right leg so your right knee pushes back to your left. Come back out. I know it's challenging. Palms squeeze together as you kneel. Slide the thumbs over your ears. Hug your elbows towards your nose, lift your elbows, and look up at the ceiling. Breathing deep, breathing slow. Now we're going to step the right foot to the right. The heel's going to stay on the mat. The toes will spill off. If you can't get to your elbows to your mat, you're still a great person. I love you. You can always just plant your hands and bend your elbows. Now, if you can get your elbows down, make sure you're really trying to drag your left knee forward. There's always energy in the pose. We're never really stopping and just sort of resting or pausing. There's always muscular activation going on. In this case, from that kneeling position, it's the back knee trying to slide forward. Now we're going to flip. Step your right foot to the outside of your left leg. Plant your left foot so that you can begin to balance on your right foot and left hand, trying to reach up high with your right hand and touch the ceiling with your left big toe. Plant the left foot, slowly flip back over. Remember, try to move slowly so that all the movements are mindful and deliberate. Sitting back to the heels, just catch your breath here. I know that I'm pretty winded, and it's much more difficult to breathe with that mask on. Step the left foot forward, but it's not that hard, guys. Straighten and rise up. And now we're going to go back into warrior three, remember? So as you lean forward over your left leg, reach forward. You're trying to get your arms out of your peripheral vision. So reach your hands away from your heart, but also imagine that you're holding a basketball in your palms above your head, and you're trying to lift the basketball. The right leg is straight, and I'm driving through the heel and pointing the big toe at the same time so that I've got a lot of tone through the leg. And then slowly start to work the arms back, bind your hands behind your butt, bend your right knee as you lift your fist. So I'm trying to get my right big toe and my knuckles to touch the ceiling as I melt the heart to the left thigh. I know how challenging that is. Trust me, I'm doing it right there with you guys. I'm with you. I'm feeling your pain. Or I'm feeling your challenge. Hopefully it's not painful. Connect the thumbs to your heart. Lean forward until your spine is in that same line as your left thigh bone. And then twist to your left. rise back up and untwist. We repeat these movements to just re-emphasize the re-education of the muscles and range of motion we're trying to find. So sometimes we go in and out and back in again so that those muscles acclimatize to the movement we're asking them to do. Now, as you hold this last one, slowly begin to straighten your left leg. It feels like your left foot is trying to slide your mat forward out from under your right foot, and your right foot is trying to hold your mat in place. Reach back up, come on out, and as you reach up high, kneel down. Nice work, guys. That is a challenging sequence. As I watch myself do that, I'm like, I'm glad I did that. Now we're gonna bow again. Make sure that your left heel is on the mat and your left toes are spilled off. That means that what we're trying to do is push down firmly into the edge, the pinky edge of your left foot. Don't forget, there's energy in the pose, and that's your right knee here trying to drag forward. If you were doing this on the beach, you'd be pushing sand forward with the arch of your left foot. As we come up and out, step back and around, we're gonna flip over and turn. And once we turn that right foot and reach up, I'm gonna balance on my right hand and left foot, drive the right knee slowly towards the chest, extend the right leg straight, and try to lift that right foot so your right big toe can touch the ceiling along with your left hand. Release slowly. If you fell out of that, that's normal, and we always get better at what we repeatedly do. Plant the hands, lift your butt, lift your chin. Remember, this is our upward facing dog variation. And then we're going to slide the hands forward. And this time, we're going to lower our belly and chest and our pelvis to the floor. Slide the hands forward. I'm going to switch cameras here because we're going to work on cross core. Instead of lifting our entire body at once, we're going to lift and work across the body. And what that means, in short, is that I'm going to lift one hand and one leg, and we're going to lift contralateral. That means opposites. Left hand goes up, right leg goes up. But don't try to lift high. Try to push down hard into the knee and the hand. We're going to take a moment here to rest. That means stack your hands under your chin. It's better to rest with your head on your hands than your arms resting at your sides, because then your shoulders could slump off your back. And in this position here, we get the opportunity to always be reminding, even resting, that the shoulder blades inherently belong on the back. Now we're going to reach forward and do the other side. So focus on pushing down firmly, and I'm pushing down into my knees. You can see my butt go up right there. So I push down into the knees to lift my pelvis, and then lift the left leg and the right hand. But don't focus on lifting, focus on the pushing down aspect. That's your left hand and your right knee. And as you release slowly and melt to the floor, we're going to stack the hands again, turn the head to your left, and rest. You can probably feel your heart beating against your mat. Influence your heart by breathing slowly through your nose as soon as you can, and just reclaim that deeper, slower breath and calm that pounding heart, right? Push away from the ground, leave the knees on the mat. Walk your hands back, sit to your heels. So we were essentially back bending there. So every time we're deeply back bending, we want to just take a moment and give those muscles and the vertebral disc an opportunity to appreciate the work that they've done. We're going to step left foot forward and turn. As we transition to the side, I'm going to switch sides. Now go ahead and bend your knees one at a time. It's sort of like that polishing a park bench move we were doing. And again, I'm just inviting movement into the body. Movement is medicine. Now we're going to transition into a warrior stance. You're going to notice here that I'm really careful to pay attention to my feet. And I've been teaching and practicing for 20 years. I just always look down at the feet. I always want to know where my feet are and how to build a better foundation. Now in extended side angle, I'm reaching my left hand away from my left ankle, trying to create a nice solid straight line on the left side. From here, we're going to try to work the core and the side bodies a little bit more by straightening the right leg. You can leave it bent. I'm going to give you the option on both sides. But don't forget, if you're holding that invisible basketball above your head, you're also trying to reach the basketball away from your head. Now let's go ahead and come into reverse warrior. Bend the right knee again if you straightened it. And you'll notice here that I'm not turning to the ceiling. I'm keeping my chest facing you, so you keep yours facing me. I'm also showing you that we want to keep the right knee bent and the right arm straight, because that's going to put as much tension as possible on that left inner thigh. We're going to transition to the other side. And I'm just pivoting on my heels, looking at my feet, because my feet determine how well I do the pose. Everything above the ankles is going to depend on what's going on below them. Back to extended side angle, elbow to the knee. And when you're ready, we're going to take the right hand, reach up and over, and again, search for that long, straight line from the back of your right hand all the way down your right side to your right ankle. When you're ready to work a little bit harder, if you choose to do so today, you're going to take your left hand up, grab your invisible basketball, make sure that you're not limp or melty. We want to be solid and straight, so lift the basketball away from your right foot. Your left knee can be bent, your left knee can be straight, but just make sure you can breathe slowly through your nose. Our breath trumps everything. We got to be able to breathe. Coming into extended side angle, bend your left knee if you had it straight, reach your left hand over your head. And again, I'm trying to keep left knee bent and left arm straight and lower right shoulder to right ankle. Coming out. Bind your hands behind you. And actually, it's not really necessary, but we're coming into half moon pose. And I'm reaching now, right hand forward, you can see there, keep left hand on the back. But once I get up and I find my balance, sometimes I'll place my hands behind my butt, over my head, on my hips. That's not what's important here. What's important here is that you're trying to keep your heart elevated. But what I'm trying to do through this particular flow is simulate slowly where we're going, which is holding the basketball above your head, turning the hips open, in sort of a half moon, a stronger half moon. Step back as soft as you can. Pivot on your feet. Let's do the other side. And remember, if I took 6 steps up a staircase, it doesn't mean you have to take all 6 steps. But we're trying to balance here on the left foot, lift the right leg, and this is half moon pose. And with our arms reaching, it's going to just require more strength, more core stability to reach those hands above the head. It's another option just to add volume, power to your pose. Don't be afraid to fall out of the pose either to help you find it. So it's never about succeeding. It's about attempting and being aware of what you're attempting to do. We're trying to strengthen the mind, strengthen the resolve, not just strengthen the body, not just trying to perfect a pose. So make it your own. Step back soft. And when you're ready, bow forward, lift your fists. Catch your breath here. Deep, slow breath through the nose. Never be afraid to wiggle or move around. Place those hands back on the floor. Just find yourself feeling grounded again. Sitting to the right heel. And remember, we did this before, but this time we're going to reach the right hand on the top of the head, and I'm literally trying to press my left ear to my left knee. Switching sides. Moving like a spider, getting low. Now, I also want you to notice that my right hand is holding the floor down firmly. That's the leverage I'm using to hold myself in place, keep myself balanced while we create that lateral space. Onto the right knee, facing the top of the mat again. Stepping back, we're going to sit to the heels. Again, take a moment to ground from all that standing work, all that effort to balance and be stable. Step your right foot off your mat and rise, standing on the knee and the foot for gate position. But instead of sliding your right hand down your right ankle, use that if you need to, but if you can, place your right fingertips on your left thigh so that you have to use more core side body strength. Place your left hand on the left side of your mat, lift your right foot, grab your ankle, and now I'm just trying to kick my right leg as I lift chest away from hips and chin away from chest. Now we're going to switch sides. Lower the right knee down. We're going to come into gate position, and that means step your left foot out to the left. Lifting the butt off the left heel, place the left fingertips on the right thigh. Right hand reaches up and over. It takes a lot of work for us to constantly lengthen through those side bodies. It helps us lengthen and make a healthier spine. But maintaining that ability to have full range of motion through the trunk also is giving us the ability to create deeper breath. Grabbing the left ankle, pull your heel to your butt, kick your leg, lift your chin, and slowly release. Both knees on the mat, we're going to take a seat. Place your butt somewhere near the center of your mat. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together, and I'm going to simply lift my chest away from the floor while I try to pull my knees to the floor with my outer hips and thighs. It almost feels as though if there were tennis balls on the floor underneath your knees, that you're trying to get your knees to touch those tennis balls. Now, you might have a lot of difficulty doing this here, but we're trying to do this without leverage. We're trying to operate from motor control. Going back to the front camera, we can see that I've extended the right leg straight and left hand is on left knee. Turn to your left, but make sure that your chin isn't driving your rotation. In fact, don't try to look behind you. Just look to your left and let your right ear melt towards your shoulder. Push through your right heel and pull at your right shoulder. So it feels like you're trying to pull the top of your foot to your ribs. Plant your right foot and then hug the right knee into the left elbow. Use that left bicep to really pull your right knee into your left side body. Right hand behind you. Make sure you're only on your fingertips. Don't rest on your right palm. Plant that hand, only fingertips, lift the heart, rotate slowly, make sure you're breathing. Now we're going to switch sides. And I'm going to switch cameras so we can see the pose from a different angle. Pulling my butt cheeks back, I'm going to grab my left foot with my left hand. Even if you have to bend the knee, that's fine. My left knee is bent quite a bit there, you can see. And then right hand on the knee, I'm going to lean to the right so that there's no body weight on my left butt cheek. I could literally slide a playing card from a deck of playing cards underneath my left butt cheek. The left ear melts to the left shoulder. Remember, you're not trying to look behind you. You're simply trying to look away from your left knee. Drive through the left heel. Pull with the left shoulder. Don't forget to breathe slowly and deeply. Breath always trumps everything. Plant the left foot for the seated twist. Capture your left knee on the inside of your right elbow and really squeeze that right bicep, really trying to hug your left knee to your right nipple. Left fingertips only on your mat. So I'm using the fingertips to push my heart away from the back edge of my mat and up into the air, and I'm breathing slowly, deeply, and deliberately. Releasing the twist. I'm just going to come into a comfortable seated position. It's called Sukhasana. Now, you might typically opt for Shavasana at the end of your practice, and that's fine. If you want to lie down here, this is a great time to marinate in your practice and enjoy bringing your body to a restful state. I'm more of a fan of meditating after I practice, so my practice usually ends in Sukhasana, resting the palms on the thighs. Maybe you got to get up and go to work. Maybe you got to feed the kids now, and that's fine if you got to get up and go. But if you have the time, if you have just a little bit more time, then just close your eyes, feel your breath in your heart. It was really a treat to guide you through the practice today, and I really appreciate you guys being here. We have a really growing library of yoga classes on our channel, including some very yoga pose specific videos. I thank you so much for being here today. Namaste.